All right, I got access to America's Mattress Live Tower Cam. I pivoted to the north somewhat. This will give you an idea of what I'm about to show you on radar. This is what's putting down those heavy downpours and some lightning strikes. I don't see any lightning right now. Easier to see this evening when the sun goes down. For Grand Junction, that's about 8:25-ish tonight. And then, of course, by the 9 o'clock hour, we should see some more storms tracking from west to east. So this is that dark cloud complex. This is one of 5 little clusters that are working through the region. I'll show that to you on radar. But the problem with this particular one is the Pine Gulch burn scar. Least mentioned this summer. A few times they've gone under, that area has gone under a flash flood warning. So if you have a smart device and you're subscribed to Mesa County and Garfield County, you probably got an alert about a flood warning. This is just a very small area that's dealing with this. There's very minimal impacts to humans. Unless you're off-roading or boondocking out in this part of the county, you're not likely to encounter very many humans, more likely horses than people out there. But nonetheless, we're getting some heavy downpours. This is moving, well, I'll show it to you on radar. It's moving to the east, and they're actually collapsing in on themselves. So we're getting a little bit breezy as a result of that activity. We may or may not get some cooling out of it, but we are getting some cloud coverage, and that's helping. And we're not exactly hot today. 92 right now in Grand Junction, 86 right now in Montrose. Average high temperature for this time of the year, whether you know it or not, we're slowly decreasing our numbers. For Grand Junction, it's 94, 95. For Montrose, it's 89, 90. Now, we're a little more solid with those numbers, so we hit the averages today, but as we continue moving forward, again, we will lose a degree every couple of days. I think we can say goodbye to the clusters of hot days in a row. We may see 1 or 2 of those sporadically into August, but the overall pattern for August is going to be less than hot and going to be better than dry. And by that, I mean we're not heating up all that much, and we will still be dealing with showers and thunderstorms moving through. Current position of our high pressure system, which really is in control of a lot of things. We have a trough of low pressure on the west coast. That's actually nudging everything, relaxing a little bit, allowing movement on this high. Placement on the high right now, eastern Colorado, and as such, we get on the western periphery of this. So we get a little bit of a hot day out of it. Average tomorrow, we'll try to do a little better than average. Thursday, we may peak a degree or 2 above the averages. So we're heading into the midweek with hotter temperatures. We can't exactly call it dry, though. On the eastern periphery, I should say on the western periphery of this high pressure system, we get these storms cycling in. That's exactly what we get right now for our opportunity in the northern half of the state to see those storms moving from west to east per the circulation of this high pressure system. Now, 24 hours from now, we get another adjustment. That low off the west coast relaxes a little bit, moves to the north, allows the high to swing back to the west. Now, this essentially will cut off a direct tap. And when we get it over the Four Corners region, we really start to focus on the temperatures. So that's what we get for the Wednesday and the Thursday. We will be recycling storms for that same period, so we can't call it dry. And instead of storms firing on the western periphery of the high, we now get them on the eastern side. So storm motion will be from the north to the south, along the divide and east of the divide. So if you get into the front range on Wednesday, prepare for some active storms, probably even some hail as a result of this high pressure system. Now, it will move yet again towards the end of this work week, and that means a little jog to the east opens up that window for even more widespread showers and thunderstorms, not just the recycled variety. We actually will tap into the Gulf of Mexico, among other source regions. On radar right now, there's that spot on the Book Cliffs that's under a current flood warning through this evening. And then scattered clusters. Meeker's getting some activity right now. And it's not just Meeker that I'm concerned about or the Pine Gulch, it's the Grizzly Creek. Now you saw we weren't even under a flash flood watch. So with these brief heavy downpours that pop up and move through from west to east, storm motion is about 25 miles per hour to the east. So they're not exactly parked overhead, but they are putting down some heavy rain. Possibility exists we could bypass a flood watch, go right to a flood warning for the Grizzly Creek burn scar, and that would be a safety closure. Hopefully that's it. Now yesterday I talked about a little area outside of Paonia heading into Carbondale via Highway 133 over McClure Pass, if you recall that. Got confirmation there is a debris flow, so traffic is closed at that spot for McClure Pass, right around Redstone, Marble, the higher elevated side of that roadway. So not likely you're going to make that commute from Paonia or vice versa from Carbondale. Further to the south, not a whole lot of storm activity. We're still getting storms in the San Luis Valley around Alamosa. We should be breezing up right now. Rifles certainly, Glenwood absolutely, as these storms continue tracking through. But we're a little bit breezy at Grand Junction right now. Top wind gusts of the day just around the 20-mile-per-hour zone. If that storm was a little further south in longitude, we certainly would be experiencing wind gusts in the 35 to 40 and some rain and lightning strikes locally. 30-mile-per-hour blast at Delta, manageable, not storm associated, but look at what happens with storms later this week. They return with gusto. That high pressure system jogs to the east, opens up that window. We should see a lot more storms as early as Thursday for the San Juans, but once we get into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into the beginning of next week, we lower those temperatures below the averages. We get more storm opportunities, and as a result, that's what our the month of August is going to look like. Less than average temperatures and slightly above average rain opportunities. So that's a good outcome for August, at least from this point.